what does numpy reshape function mean might be a question in the background of your mind. Well, in this tutorial we are going to cover three things. Number one is, what does the numpy reshape function mean? Number two, how do we use the numpy reshape function? And number three, why do we use numpy reshape function? So here I start by describing what does the numpy reshape function mean. The numpy reshape function bracket -1, it helps us to convert one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array. So that is part number one, which is the meaning of a numpy reshape function. Number two, how do we use numpy reshape function? So here is how we use the numpy reshape function. Here, as you can see, this is Python list with the name Moses, and here, as you can see, I tried out to print the data type, which is list. Then after, in order to use the numpy reshape function bracket -1, which helps us to convert the one-dimensional array numpy array into two-dimensional numpy array, you need to first change your Python list into n-dimensional array. So here I applied np.array, then I passed in my list to convert list into numpy nd array. So this is numpy n-dimensional array. So here, if you can see, I tried out to print the dimension of my numpy array, and as you can see here, this is one-dimensional array. So this is part number 2. So we are still learning on how we can use the reshape numpy function. So here, as you can see, np.array, then I pass in the name of my n-dimension array, n-dimension numpy array, which is one-dimension array, then dot reshape. In the bracket I pass in -1, 1. Okay, so this will convert one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array. As you can see here, once I printed the type and the shape, you can see now it is still the numpy n-dimension array, but it is now two-dimensional array. So far we have covered the two parts in this video, which is the meaning of numpy reshape function bracket -1, 1, and how do we use it to convert one numpy dimensional array into two numpy dimensional array. So why do we use it? Mostly this function is used in machine learning. Okay, it helps us to convert the one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array, because machine learning usually processes data which are in two-dimensional array. All right. So once you're training your machine learning model, make sure the data are in they are in two-dimensional array, and once you're making prediction, make sure your data set are in two-dimensional array. Here is an example. So this project is forecasting the current future preferences in machine learning. You can see here I take the data which is in Python list. As here you can see, motech is this is just a Python list which contains three items, right? So what I did is to convert this Python list into numpy array, right? Then after I used the reshape function bracket 1, -1 to convert the Python one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array. And here here you can see now this input, which is motech, it is now in two-dimensional array, and it is now able to make a prediction and get the result in model. So for we machine learning engineer, we need the reshape numpy function in order to help us to convert one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array, because the machine learning algorithm learn on the data which are in two-dimensional array, but also they make a prediction if data are in two-dimensional array. Here I'll show you one more example. This was the machine learning project for predicting the music preferences based on gender and edge, right? So here you can see this is Django backend for processing. So here you can see we take age and gender from user, right? So age and gender are the data, we take them, then we put them in Python. This is just a Python list. I can say we put it in this Python list. Then after we use the reshape function to convert this data, which is Python list or whatever Python numpy, into two-dimensional array, so as we can make a prediction. You can see here reshape function will take gender and age, which are in one-dimensional array, then change them into two-dimensional array with the data type of integer. Then we use to take the changed the returned two-dimensional array, so as to make a prediction. So that is how important it is for machine learning to know the concept of numpy array, the concept of n-dimension array, and how they can be used to train the algorithm and to make prediction. Thanks for this tutorial. I think it is very enjoyable. To put a short summary of what we have covered in this video, we have learned the numpy reshape function bracket -1, 1. We learned what does it mean, right? As I said, it helps us to convert the one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array in numpy array. Then we learned how we use it to convert one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array. Then after we learned why do we use it, or why do we need it. We need the Python numpy reshape function because it helps us in converting the data into from one-dimensional array into dimensional array, so as they can be processed by machine learning algorithm, as this machine learning algorithm usually process data which are in two-dimensional array. That's it. Thanks, and I hope you have enjoyed it. But what is your experience when using the numpy.reshape function? I think a lot of people back in the days, my experience back in the days, I was just using this function and it worked for me, but in the background of my mind I was not aware of how this function work, right? Till I found some awesome material online. I think that was a certain book of machine learning, and the author was very briefly explaining how this function work and how do we need it. So my experience back in the days, I was just using the reshape function. I had no idea how it works. I had no a full idea on how the numpy and array function, the numpy array, how they work and how to deal with them, like converting one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array, dealing with three-dimensional array, four-dimensional, and so on. So what is your experience when dealing with machine learning? What is your experience when you're dealing with the reshape function? Do you use this function, or do you use another function which help you to convert one-dimensional array? Share your experience on how do you convert one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array in machine learning. Put below comment so as we can review your comment, we can answer you, and so on. The great concept is to share experience, as we are Pythonists, right? And we are machine learning engineers and data scientists. How do we convert the one-dimensional array into two-dimensional array? Put your experience. That's it. But I think there is much more need for me and you to connect on our social media. Go on my channel banner, okay? Click my Instagram link, then follow me, I'll follow back. Text me, I'll text you back, and let's build a strong machine learning, a strong Python, a strong data scientist community where we help each other. But also I think it is essential for you to like this video if the content is awesome, because we usually measure the performance of our video by checking out the likes and the comments and how do people share our content. So if the a certain content perform well, so we really know that this content is appreciable by the people. We keep on improving and uploading a lot of such content, but if the content have low likes, right, no one comments, no one share, no one subscribe, then we think we don't give something which is harmful to the community, then we stop to upload such content, or we totally delete them. So if the video is if the content is great, then put credit on me. Thanks. I think that is enough. See you in the next tutorials.